Hey guys, welcome to Cutting Edge EDC. If you're joining us for the first time, go ahead and subscribe, drop us a like, and leave us a comment on this video. If you're not joining us for the first time, thank you for coming back. We appreciate all of the support. Now stay tuned because we're going to talk about some knives.
All right, today we have got the CRKT Redemption. This knife is produced in partnership with Hogue, and it is a Ken Onion design based off of his custom, the Dead Man's Hand. We've got the Dead Man's Hand represented on the table here just for fun. Also decorated the table for the thumbnail and thought that looks pretty cool. I think we'll just leave that. So, having a little bit of fun today with the CRKT. All right, let's talk about some of the specs on this knife, and then we will get into some of the design elements and the mechanics of this knife, which are especially cool. We have got a 4-inch dagger ground blade in CPM Magna Cut. We have got a G10 and aluminum handle. I really like, if I can get this to focus, I really like that milling pattern on the aluminum. That stripe pattern looks great. And the G10 is very nicely contoured, and it's got a really nice texture to it. It is just almost smooth, but has got a little bit of a texture, and it just feels very, very premium. Got some stainless steel inlays. I believe they're stainless steel. And we've got a deep carry pocket clip. Nice subtle black deep carry pocket clip. And it's got that little oval design in it to match that inlay. So it really carries the design. If they had done too much with this pocket clip, it would have thrown off the balance, I think. And so they did a really nice job with that. As far as the hardware goes, we've got Torx all the way around, T8s for the body screws, T6s for the clip, and a T10 at the pivot. I would prefer that there were no T6s involved. Kind of industry-wide, I wish T6s were a thing of the past, because unless you've got a really good set of bits, you're going to mess up your bits, you're going to strip out your screws, and you're just going to have a mess on your hands. The T8s and up are a little more forgiving. If you come in at a little bit of the wrong angle, or your bits aren't quite up to snuff, you're not going to have as much of a problem with the T8s and up as you do with the T6s. I don't get paid to make these decisions. It's just one man's opinion. And that's what I think about that. Okay. As far as weight goes, we are looking at 4.8 ounces, and the blade thickness is 150 thousandths of an inch. Let's talk about the party piece of this knife, which is how it opens. There is no flipper tab. There are no thumb studs. What we have is this crossbar lock. And you pull back on that, and it edges the blade out for you. And a flick of the wrist does the rest. You can pull back on this hard enough and fast enough to get it to flick out on its own. You can also use good old-fashioned gravity, which is something to consider before you purchase this knife. It's getting more and more difficult all the time to know what the rules are, but like with any knife, you just want to check your local rules and regulations and make sure that you can actually own this and carry this in whatever state you're in. But back to the opening. Really nice smooth opening. This blade does run on bearings. Very, very nice and smooth. The lockup is completely solid, perfect lockup. Feels like a fixed blade. I mean, I can't wiggle that any direction at all. So that lock gets a 100% A plus, really, really good lockup. And it is fun to open like that. A very dramatic opening. A flick of the wrist every time you open the knife. It matches the drama of the rest of this design, which just says, "Hi, my name is John Wick, and I have come to hustle poker in Tombstone." I mean, it's like John Wick meets Johnny Ringo. Just a tactical cowboy gambler knife. It mashes together a bunch of really cool elements of other knives that I like and turns it into one just absolutely excellent piece. I like anytime that there's a custom knife that is redesigned for production market. I love that. I love custom knives. I really appreciate all of the work and the thought that goes into designing these knives that are just made to be beautiful, made to be cool, made to look nice. And you take that and put that into a knife that I can afford, and hey, I am a big fan of that. I don't think this knife was designed strictly for EDC purposes. You could carry this thing and use it for everyday tasks, but I just don't think that is. I don't think that's the whole purpose of the design. It is a dagger ground blade, so you've got the full thickness of the knife right up until about there, and so at 150 thousandths of an inch, you may find some. You may have some trouble with this blade binding up on thicker materials because that edge geometry is pretty steep. And I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier. The top of the blade is not sharp. You can put your hand on that all you want to. And the reason for that is you can touch the blade when the knife is in the closed position. So if that top part was sharpened, if you were careful with it every single time, you'd be okay. But I don't know about you, but I'm pretty bad at that. I can be careful a couple times, and then before too long, I find myself, oops, slicing my finger open while the knife is closed. So, good call on leaving that edge unsharpened. But all in all, this is a really excellent design. I'm a big fan. This one does not belong to me. This belongs to Braden. Thank you, Braden, for loaning me this knife for review. I will be getting one of these because I like it a lot. I had seen it prior to actually getting to handle it and do this review, and I thought that's a cool knife. But I didn't have that itch to get my hands on one. But I could tell you that after holding on to this thing, after feeling it, and after opening it, man, that is a really slick design. Makes me want to go hustle somebody in a card game. So that's going to do it for us today. A little bit shorter review, and remember to subscribe, drop us a like, leave us a comment. We really appreciate the support, and you guys have been very supportive.